Hi, everyone. Great to see you here. Thank you all for coming. I'm Isa, and I work across product and marketing at the Fabricant. And the Fabricant is a decentralized, digital-only fashion house. And before I get into what all of that actually means, I'd first like to just speak on the Fabricant values, because these are really at the core of everything that we do. And these values are fun, collaboration, and empathy. These were actually decided during a company offsite. Everyone kind of came together, discussed internally, and came up with these 3 values. And it's not just what we're referring to in terms of values for our internal day-to-day operations, but it's also key for building our community. These are the values we really want our community to embody, and also what we want our product and overall ecosystem to embody as we're building this decentralized fashion ecosystem. So this is a tweet from our CEO and co-founder, Carrie Murphy. By 2025, 100 million people will be wearing digital-only clothing, and that's me being conservative. So this really kind of ties into our overall mission, which is just to outfit everyone in the metaverse. Our motto is always digital, never physical. So we're creating digital-only fashion and experiences. We're never going to touch the physical stuff. And this really ties into our mission, which is to lead the fashion industry into this new era of digital-only clothing that wastes nothing but data and exploits nothing but our imagination. So of course, this is really important because, as you know, the traditional fashion industry, particularly fast fashion, is extremely harmful. It's 30 to 40% of clothing produced in the fashion industry is completely overproduced each season. It's also the 2nd largest polluter for water and plastics. It's just insanely wasteful, insanely unsustainable, very harmful to the environment, and for no reason. And then on the other hand, the fashion industry is very exploitative as well. Particularly fast fashion, you have people working in these factories for very low pay and in very dangerous conditions. And then you also have large brands like Balenciaga ripping off small designers and taking credit for their work, and the designers never get any recognition or money, which is hugely problematic. So we really believe that digital fashion has the potential to rectify all of this, and this is the ecosystem that we're trying to build. Fashion does not need to be physical to exist. Fashion is really about expressing an identity. It's about telling a story, conveying an emotion, or even just expressing whatever vibe you want to put out to the world that day. And in our opinion, fashion can be, you can participate as a creator, a designer, you can participate in so many different ways, and it doesn't necessarily need to be about the physical clothing. And in this world where you can really, in the digital world where you can kind of transcend your physical form, you don't need to be bound by the laws of gravity, any sort of physical laws. You don't need to be kind of constrained by these binaries or societal norms that are placed on us when we express ourselves in the physical world. So digital fashion can be a lot of fun. If you want to be a fucking dinosaur and you want to wear a ball gown made of flames, you can totally do that. Be yourself. We really don't think an outfit needs to be physical to exist. So to this end, I'd like to invite you all to try on digital fashion. This is digital fashion in one of its many forms through AR filters. The one on the left is an Instagram filter. If you use your camera, it'll pull up Instagram by Pablo Vittar. And the one on the right is for Snapchat by Ruby Gloom. So this is just one of the many ways you can actually wear digital fashion in your day-to-day life on social media and just to kind of show it off and express yourself to your friends. I would also like to just give a little, give some examples of the work we've done at the Fabricant, past collaborations, just to kind of show you digital fashion in its many forms and how it can be worn and used in many different kind of contexts and virtual spaces. This was a collaboration with artist Ruby Gloom. It's pretty cool, lots of movement going on, which is really special. You don't really get that in the physical world. This is also an example of digital fashion. You may have seen some of these with the QR codes that you just scanned, but being able to wear it in AR filters, which is really popular for people who just want to, I really like it because it's the physical world kind of colliding with this digital world that you wouldn't see just with the naked eye. And it's really cool, just a different way to express yourself. And this was the first ever NFT cover, and it was for Vogue Singapore. The headdress was inspired by Singaporean cultural heritage. And basically, there was a big QR code on the cover of the magazine, and when you scanned it, you got this NFT that came up. So that's kind of, it just transformed this very like passive act of reading a magazine into something very interactive and immersive. And I think it really showed the power of digital fashion to lots of people across the world. And here was a collaboration we did with Star Atlas, actually. So this was basically a digital wearable that could be sold in the Star Atlas marketplace. And it's really important for us because it really illustrates the intersection between fashion and gaming, which is super popular now, as you all know, at NFTBERLIN. So at the Fabricant, we're really building a wardrobe for the metaverse. As I said, our vision is to bring fashion to the metaverse and outfit all of its citizens in digital-only clothing by 2025. And we're doing this through our platform called the Fabricant Studio, which is a digital fashion platform where anyone can co-create, own, wear, and trade their fashion designs. And it really enables anyone to be a fashion designer, even if you don't necessarily have the skills or background. You can also be a curator, reseller, buyer. There are so many ways to participate in this decentralized fashion ecosystem. So we're really about building this equitable community that's accessible to all. You can participate as a digital designer, a meta tailor. You can participate as a stylist or just a fashionista. There are so many different roles you can embody. And in our ecosystem, we really want it to be open to everyone to kind of come in, define your own role, and then grow your own trade within our ecosystem. And we want it to grow. It's going to be very decentralized, and you really get to define it on your own terms, but still be part of this community. And accessibility is a major point for us with this equitable community. The traditional fashion industry, as you know, is extremely closed, very, very hard to break into. If you're not living in a fashion capital like a London or a Paris, it's very tricky if you don't have all these connections. So for us, it's really about democratizing this access and making it so if you're a kid in like the middle of nowhere, then you can still be a famous fashion influential force, just like someone born in London. And the other part is that we want this community to be a place where all creators profit. And on the studio, this was a big thing that we considered while building the platform. So it's really everyone who contributes to the creation process at all gets royalties as things are sold and resold on the marketplace. So even if you're a material or garment creator kind of in the early stage of the process, or if you're a co-creator who comes in, customizes these pieces to make a unique fashion NFT, you will be rewarded and you maintain ownership over your creations. So the Fabricant Studio has three major components. One is to create unique digital fashion items. So again, anyone can be a fashion designer. You combine different garments, materials, colors, trims to basically create a one-out-of-one unique NFT fashion garment. Then you can trade these creations. And as I said, creators and co-creators get continuous royalties as the items are minted and sold on the marketplace. And finally, the most fun part, you can wear them in the metaverse. And this really, you can right now connect to AR wearables, NFT games like Decentraland and the Sandbox, and also social platforms. As you've seen, you can wear them on Instagram and Snapchat. So of course, utility is always expanding. We're still very, very early days. But in the end, we want you to be able to wear these things anywhere. Just like you can wear a pair of sneakers in the US, you can wear them in London, you can wear them in Korea. You should be able to wear your digital clothing all across the metaverse as well. So for the studio, we're currently in phase 1, which is the seasons. And seasons are invite-only events where select designers and brands can kind of come in and they create these limited edition garments and materials. And then the selected group of co-creators get to come in and create their own unique digital fashion NFTs. Soon we'll be moving into phase 2, which is really exciting. This is the open ecosystem, and this will be the token issuance as well as bootstrapping our DAO. We really want the community to have a lot of power in this ecosystem and be able to actually take ownership over everything and also govern it. And finally, phase 3, we have the fashion multiverse. And the Fabricant Studio will be this immersive fashion platform where participants can wear digital fashion across the metaverse and also profit from their trade and craft. So some more kind of cool examples. This one was done with the Zeus Museum in the Netherlands. And it was actually kind of a reinterpretation of historical garments. So this jacket's called the hemdrok. And they kind of redid it to be inspired by club culture in the Netherlands in the 90s. So it's kind of like mashing historical with something a little bit more funky. And this is a clip from Metaverse Fashion Week, which happened in March earlier this year. This took place in Decentraland, and this was a really pivotal moment for the studio because it was really all about the creators. All of the designs you see here that the models, the Decentraland models or avatars are wearing were co-created in season 1. So these were things that our community who had access to the season actually minted on their own. And then you could submit your creation up for vote, and the community could vote on these. And the ones that were selected got to participate in this Fashion Week in the metaverse, which was really cool, because for us it's all about highlighting community ownership and participation. So here you can actually see the list of creators. These are the people who created all the garments and materials, and then you can also see the community members who got to participate in this event. This was something we did for Australian Fashion Week, and again, this was a very interactive experience where you could actually wear the digital fashion piece. So it really took just looking at a magazine cover, which is a very passive experience, to something a lot more being an active participant and actually getting to wear it yourself. Briefly touch on the milestones, just so you can kind of understand where we're coming from and then where we're going and kind of what's next. There's a lot more to come. In 2018, our co-founders, Amber and Carrie, did a digital-only fashion show. That's kind of how the Fabricant was kicked off. In 2019, we did the world's first digital-only garment on the blockchain, which sold for $9,500, which at the time was almost 55 ETH. And this was called Iridescence. And the dress, you can see the model Joanna there. She's on a rooftop in New York, and this dress has been digitally tailored to her body, and the dress was moving, and it really showed what digital fashion could do. But also a lot of people didn't like it because it was really expensive, and people kind of saw this as a new elitist sort of thing. And we recognize the hate. That's why we're trying to make it more accessible. And 2020, of course, the pandemic hit. So here brands really started looking at how they could participate in these new digital spaces. And we did a lot of collaborations with big brands. One notable one was with Virgil Abloh and Off-White. 2021, we did our seed round, and we started to focus a lot more of our strategy on NFTs. And this is when we did the world's first NFT Vogue magazine cover, and we also launched the Fabricant Studio platform. Most recently this year, we've done a whole lot, but very notably our Series A funding of $14 million, and we have a lot more to come, hence why we're here. So what's next? Just a little teaser. This actually happened a couple weeks ago, but I just want to talk about it briefly because it was pretty cool. But this was one of our drops with a digital fashion designer, Steffi Feng, and it was kind of to celebrate the Chinese New Year, and basically all these garments were created to kind of represent one of the 12 animals of the Chinese zodiac. And we're doing a drop with World of Women. This is actually coming next month. So the idea here was to kind of imagine what outfits the PFPs would wear. So if you participate in this drop, you'd get to come in, choose customized materials and garments, and basically make an outfit for your PFP. And even if you don't have one, it's still a lot of fun. But this is coming in June, and for World of Women drop, I actually have a gift for you. If you scan this QR code, it will prompt you to create a Blockdo wallet, which is super fast. You don't need to do a whole seed phrase and everything. It's just an email. But if you scroll down and click claim, just type in the code SLAY all day in all caps. That's SLAY all day, all caps, and you'll get this crypto purse pass dropped to your wallet. And this crypto purse pass is not just like an NFT airdrop, but it means when you connect your wallet to the Fabricant Studio platform for this drop, you'll actually have access to participate in this season, and you also get 1 free mint, which is pretty cool. So highly recommend that you do that, and if you have any questions, just find me afterwards. Happy to help you get set up. Participate, it's a lot of fun.